founder and co-chair of the Sustainable Energy and Environmental Coalition here in the House, which now has 50 members and is another clear indication of the kind of leadership that we are seeing from this wonderful member of Congress from Washington State. Jay?
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks for letting me jump in. I'm very appreciative. I'm very excited to be amongst co-revolutionaries. If you're in this room, you're a revolutionary because you believe in the revolution of using energy efficiently. And just to make 2 points about how much energy is available to us, this is a picture of the Tadpole Galaxy, I think taken by the Hubble spacecraft. I am sure that by adopting efficiency measures with new technology, we can save at least enough energy to power that galaxy right there. That's as much. And the reason I know that is that about 2 weeks ago, out in the Pacific Northwest, there was a study done about our 20-year energy needs in the Northwest, and they concluded even with a very expansive growth in our economy, which we believe we're going to have, and an expansion of our population, we can meet at least 85% of our increased demand loads just by efficiency alone. This is a gold mine of efficiency. We are the Saudi Arabia of efficiency, and we had to mine that to the extent humanly possible, and efficiency in the use of technology and computer systems are obviously very, very significant area for us to mine. And the good news, we are doing that. Today, I don't want to steal his thunder. I don't know if he's spoken. Has President Obama spoken yet? Does anybody know yet? He has spoken. Good. Well, then I can steal his retro thunder. He was announcing today $3.4 billion in smart grid investments today in Florida, enough for 18 million smart meters, 7,000 automated substation, and 200,000 smart transformers. Now, this is one of the few times that Americans can justifiably say something happened in Washington, D.C. that was actually smart. We can prove that because we're putting in 200,000 smart transformers. This is a good day for the country. And the reason is that we are displacing Middle Eastern oil and dirty coal for efficiency, which in itself is what I call the first fuel. I appreciate the plug for my book, Apollo's Fire. I wrote this book a couple years ago that we've now revised for the post-Obama reality. And basically, we believed, and I believed several years ago, that America can do for energy now what we did for space in the 60s, which is basically use our technological innovation and creative powers to really fuel a new revolution in clean energy this time. And we're seeing that happening now all over. In my little neck of the woods, a little small company called Microsoft is doing some very significant things, trying to help consumers develop the technologies to save power, and they're having success in doing that. And they're making significant investments to do that. There's another little company called Verdium in Seattle, which sells a product to manage large corporate and large organizational computer networks to save somewhere between, I think it's 15 and 20% of their power usage. And they're having success in that regard. My little island, I live a little island called Bainbridge Island, Washington. It's just a 35-minute ferry boat ride from Seattle. And the power company last year said, we got to put another substation in. You know, your power needs are growing. And we're kind of a nice little island. We like to keep sort of a rural environment. And my little community said, wait a minute, why do we have to put another substation? Why don't we just buy efficiency? Why don't we just make investments in efficiency? And so this Saturday at the 360 project, you know, we had these trying to keep CO2 concentrations down to 360 parts per million, and all over the world, the largest environmental action in world history was last Saturday when people all over the world did these demonstrations for 360 to try to reduce our CO2 emissions so we can get down to 360 parts per million. And our little thing on Bainbridge Island were folks essentially, they had a little tent there, and they were signing people up for both energy audits and signing up to actually go to a demand management system so we can have a demand management that we can shave off the peaks. If we can just shave off the peaks in like 2 weeks in my little island, shaving off those peaks, we can avoid putting in a substation and chewing up some of our precious western red cedars that we like on Bainbridge Island. So this future is the present. We're enjoying it right now. It is a revolution. We're searching in every possible way to get on the bus, so to speak. And speaking of getting on the bus, The beauty of what we're doing in efficiency and technology is that it's connected to every segment in our life. Because when we put in a smart meter in our homes to shave off that peak and not waste some temperature at a time we really don't need it, either in our water heater or in our residential heating, we're also saving the grid, and the grid is using the electric car in our driveway as a storage battery for the grid so that they can take wind power that we otherwise would waste at night, feed it into the battery in our Ford Focus that I drove last Friday. And by the way, once you drive an electric car, you will never go back to an internal combustion motor. The acceleration of these things are incredible. I have not felt acceleration since I was, 16 years old in a Dodge 404 on Aurora Avenue cruising for girls when I was 17 years old. This was unbelievable acceleration in these cars, but they can be used as the grid to soften the peaks and store renewable energy and then feed it back in. And you can drive your electric bus. I just walked up here. If you want to go see a cool car, I don't know if it's there still. There's an all-electric bus down by the Botanical Museum right now. And uses these new type of battery. They're manufactured in America. This bus is manufactured in Colorado. It is all electric. And you can charge it every 2 or 3 hours, and away you go. And I have two things to be proud of in my life. Last year in Oakland, they let me drive a hydrogen fuel cell bus in Oakland that is in use today in Oakland. And I became the first member of the United States Congress to drive a hydrogen fuel cell bus. And they told me that they had President Bush, they'd had him to look at it 6 months before I did. They let him sit in the driver's seat. They would not let him drive, though. I don't know what that was a bus. It's a California thing or something. I don't know. But this morning, 20 minutes ago, I can report to you I became the first member of the United States Congress ever to drive an entirely electric bus, and I drove it down by the Botanical Gardens. The point I want to make is the connectivity in electricity between our computer networks and our residential heating and our hot water heating and our transportation systems are now going to become one integrated system that can save energy everywhere we go. So this is a revolution not just in our computer chips, not just in our laptops, not just in our iPods, but in our whole system of working and living. And I want to thank you for your interest in this. And I want to ask you to be revolutionaries in the next 90 days. Because in the next 90 days, U.S. Congress is going to decide whether or not we really get in the game of developing these new technologies, or whether we're going to let those technologies going to be developed in China. And the reason I say that is in the next 90 days, the U.S. Congress is going to decide whether we pass a clean energy bill or not that will really maximize these economic opportunities. And whatever information you have to share with U.S. Congress about the potential associated with this economic growth of developing clean energy and efficient technologies here, you have license to share that information with the U.S. Congress. If you do, this country is going to experience an economic a tsunami of growth like we've never experienced before. This is a great day to be American, great day to be a citizen of the planet, because we're going to revolutionize our entire grid and everything connected to it. Good luck, and thanks for letting me say hello. Take care.